She was not wanted. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Many narcissists, particularly those which are more overt in their behaviours, believe that they are always welcomed and always wanted. You know the type of people. They turn up uninvited, often at the most inconvenient time. They regularly overstay their welcome. Now, there are some people who behave that way who are not necessarily narcissists. They're not particularly good at recognising boundaries. They're not very good at picking up on the social cues that you'd like them to leave. I remember I had an auntie who, when she wanted people to leave at an evening, she would just stand up and rather than say to people, well, I need to go to bed, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave, in a somewhat passive-aggressive way, she would start switching off the lamps in the living room. She would go and unplug the television set, as people used to do that those years ago, and she would start tidying things away, very clearly making it known that she wanted people to leave. There are some who wouldn't necessarily even pick up on those cues that my auntie was offering them. Particular narcissists, because of their sense of entitlement and a lack of awareness driven by the need to continue to draw fuel from somebody, will often outstay their welcome. These are the individuals which may find themselves going to stay with someone and they stay way beyond the I just need a couple of nights on your sofa, or we come to visit for a couple of days and they end up staying for a couple of weeks. With that entitlement comes, of course, the fact that they're being fed and increasing your utilities bills by staying in your house and using the electricity and gas, etc. Now, as mentioned, there are some people that behave that way that are not narcissists, but those are certainly narcissistic indicators showing a lack of concern upon how an extended and outstanding stay impacts upon other people, the sense of entitlement to do so in the first place, and the lack of accountability for the behaviours in remaining there. Often, narcissists will turn up when they're not invited or wanted in the first place. Harry's wife has done this before. Witness, for example, when she gatecrashed the wedding and made her presence very much known as she was seeking to ensnare Harry. Her narcissism tells her that it's okay because it's her, that they won't mind, that they'll be pleased that she attends. Often, I imagine also that there will have been occasions that we've not heard about where Harry himself was the only one required, but she decided that she would come along as well. She would come along as well to maintain control over him. She would come along as well because she wanted to be seen. The Invictus Games is a good example of that. It's Harry's baby. Now, of course, there is some logic, given the fact that they're married, that she would accompany him. But she could just stay in the background, saying, no, you go to the games, you make the speeches, I will just stay in the background, I'll stay in the hotel, or I'll just come and watch, but I'll maintain a low-profile presence. But she won't do that, because her narcissism dictates to her that it has to be about her, that if she's going to go, then everybody should see her. Everybody should see her dressed up. Everybody should see her, listen to her, which allows her to assert control and draw fuel from people. Her default setting is, people want me. Her level of delusion is that she believes that everybody is pleased to see her. If you're not, there must be something wrong with you. Her default setting is that people actively want to hear from her. In my own interaction that I have had with Harry's wife, which I'll be talking about more in due course, it was very clear when she came to the relevant reception that she thought that everybody was absolutely thrilled and on tenterhooks to learn what she had to say. Her level of self-absorption is such that she thinks that everybody else is dying to meet her, dying to talk to her, the men all fancy her, the women want to be like her, that everybody wants to know what she's got to say. Because it's her, that she's amazing, that she's wonderful. Why would you not be interested in her? And with that goes the sense of entitlement that she could go anywhere that she wants. Notice, for instance, how she was caught out when she was intruding into people's private quarters. taking photographs of Princess Charlotte and, I think, George's bedrooms. She wasn't allowed to do that, but she thinks that she can. She ought to ordinarily have recognised that that was overstepping a boundary, but as a narcissist of her particular school, she wouldn't, because she doesn't recognise boundaries. She just tramples straight through them. Thus, she thinks that she's always wanted. But increasingly so, it's not the case as a consequence of her tanking popularity, and news has arisen that she's not wanted again in relation to the Germans. ZDF is a German public service station, and Harry is going to be interviewed on September the 9th on a German TV show, Das Aktuelle Sportstudio, which is something akin to Britain's Match of the Day, and he's going to be there with the German Minister of Defence. She wanted to attend this. She wanted to come along as well, but she's been told no, that they didn't want her to attend. The German Ministry of Defence was involved in the negotiations about the interview with Harry and did so through his spokesperson, an individual known as Miranda Barbart, and she was involved in making life rather difficult, in not only pushing for Harry's wife to be involved, although it was made clear in no uncertain terms that she was not wanted, and at the time of narration has still continued to push for attendance. And it might be the case that between now and then she gets her way. But at this stage, the Germans have made it very clear that they just want to speak to Harry and have nothing to do with her. And yet, notwithstanding that brush off, which would of course be issued as challenge fuel to her, she has continued through the spokesperson, Miranda Barbot, to push. And it is including things, for example, arguing about the type of helicopter that is to be used to fly from Dusseldorf to Mainz, where the headquarters of the ZDF, where the live interview will take place. She has been difficult on behalf of Harry's wife, who has again proven difficult by saying that she should attend. But the Germans have put their feet down and have said no to her, which clearly will not have gone down well with her, which will have been challenge fuel and in some instances amounted to wounding where they failed to respond to what she has wanted. But once again, Harry's wife demonstrates the way in which she believes that she can go anywhere and that she believes that everybody wants to hear from her, even though all of the evidence points in the other direction. Such is the level of delusion that she suffers from. But once again, she has been told that she was not wanted, and her unpopularity continues to go before her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.